Let's see what's going on for you guys. So the first card out I have is the Ace of Swords. So this is the gift of intellect, the gift of truth and insights bestowed upon you from the universe. And use it to your discretion, but use it wisely. Okay, so let's see what's crossing it here. I have two cards. Okay, so what's crossing it here is the Five of Swords, which indicates to me conflict, all right? So what I'm getting here is, I mentioned this before with a lot of Virgos, you like intellectual debates. You like verbal rapport, jostling between, back and forth between people. I do feel that for this week, that sense of like verbal rapport needs to be minimized a little bit, because while you might feel like it's okay, the other party might feel a little bit attacked. Okay, so let's pull the rest of the cards first and see what's going on for you. Okay, so especially for those of you who are dealing with like disputes in a family home type of situation, I do sense that it's okay for you to do it with your friends. It's okay for you to do it depending on whoever it is that you have a very strong affinity with, and you might feel that if it's done in a joking way, it's fine. It's totally fine. But you have to make sure the other party that you're engaged with in like this verbal debate understand where you're coming from, okay? Otherwise, they might feel like very, very nervous. They might also feel as if they might go out of their way to defend yourself by saying the wrong things, by saying potentially hurtful things. At the same time, like I mentioned, use it to your discretion. Um, if you are trying to get at a truth in a argument, make sure that that's what you're trying to get at, rather than trying to cut the other person down. Okay, so just be careful with the way words are expressed, words are used for this week if you can. Okay, so let's look at the cards here. So in the past position, I do have the sun in the upright position. So this indicates to me a lot of success. A lot of new opportunities are kind of like falling on your lap, and these opportunities look very fruitful, and they have a lot of potential for success in general. So that's what's in your past position. As for what's coming in here, I feel that a lot of you might be involved with like a fire sign. A lot of you might be involved with a fire sign in a romance, in a home type of situation, okay? So it could be like potentially wanting to take the relationship or friendship to the next level, or social interaction to the next level, potentially forming partnerships with a fire sign, and you're not sure what you want to do, okay? Mainly because it is in the reverse position. So I do feel that innately there are differences in opinions between you and a fire sign. So you're not really sure if I feel like you might try to convince them, and they're kind of hesitant about it. So they're kind of backing off, and they don't really want this partnership, okay? It could be a work partnership or romantic partnership, or even like a family situation, even like friendship. So they're kind of like standoffish when it comes to like how well they get along with you. So I do sense that you both communicate in very different ways, and that's why I would say like try to understand where the other person is coming from, and try to curb that penchant for argumentation. I do sense that that will be required of you, okay? And at the same time, if the other person tells you like, okay, I just don't like something, when it comes to like preferences, we don't always know why we have an affinity for something, or why we dislike something, or why we are like repulsed by something. So when it comes to like personal preferences, you can't really like ask somebody, for example, why they don't like strawberry ice cream. It's because, personal preference. It's because they don't like the taste, okay? So asking people to like over explain, it's kind of like you're attacking them as a person. So please curb that sense of argumentativeness when you interact, especially with a fire sign, because they might lose their temper, okay? So just be careful about that situation if you are dealing with it, and if you're somewhat, if this resonates with you, just try to curb that temptation, okay? In terms of what's crowning you here, I have the Seven of Cups in the reverse position, which indicates to me in general that a lot of these illusions, a lot of things that were promised are basically like they have no bearing on reality, so they're gradually being weeded out of your life, okay? So this is a card that is, you know, indicative of illusions dissipating and the true thing will remain. Okay, so at this point you know what you want to do, and you know who actually is in your life for the right reason, or who are in your life who is in your life for the right reason. So you are trying to figure out at this point the choices that are left over are the things that you want to proceed with, and at this point you're still at that you're still at the process of elimination. So I do feel like, you know, you might have started out with like seven potential love interests, and then they went through, you know, the dating interview with you, and they're just like gradually weeding themselves out, or you weeded them out, and you might end up with like two. I'm sensing two. You might have like two potential love interests that you are thinking about, or you know, relationship partners or work partnerships that you're thinking about, or even work choices, okay, or even like options or opportunities for a housing situation. So a lot of you might have just been very like proactive or very aggressive about like trying to find a house as well, and now new opportunities are coming through, and you have like a property in mind that you might want to like settle, that you might want to purchase or rent out. Okay, so that's a possibility as well. In terms of what's in your environment that you're not aware of here, I have the Five of Coins. So I'm getting here for a lot of you, it might be related to a property because of the Four of Wands in the reverse position. So a lot of you might have undergone like divorces or separations, or you were kind of like forcefully, like you were forced out of your house possibly, or you were forced to find a new dwelling or new environment. So you're just thinking, oh, there's no way I can't afford it. But at the same time, the Five of Pentacles is reversed. So at this point, if with a little bit of research, with a little bit of research, with a little bit of like insights, and I do feel the Ace of Swords here is a card of research in this context, because choices are gradually dwindling down, and there's a property that you are thinking about. So you might purchase or rent a property, and you're just you found like the right place. It's not like entirely your cup of tea, and you're going through like negotiations with another party to lower the price. And I do feel that it's going to be a little bit problematic. So that's what I mean by, you know, try not to be too abrasive in the negotiation process, okay? So in terms of the advice here, we have the Moon in the upright position, and I'm going to go out on a limb here and just say that you want to be really careful for this week, because the people around you that you're interacting with are not truthful, okay? I do feel that you yourself are very truthful. Earth signs are generally, earth and fire signs are very truthful, but the people around you might be a little bit evasive, okay? So if somebody is like doing the disappearing act, if they're like trying to avoid you and they're trying to be evasive whenever you ask them like important questions, don't even waste your time. They're going to give you the runaround, and you're just going to end up like wasting a lot of time, ending up with nothing, okay? So that's an indicator. I do feel that you're being yanked around here. So if you are at all in any type of a situation where people are just kind of leading you on, they're being evasive, it's because they're passive aggressive, and you were like really passive and upfront, and they don't really know how to deal with you, and they know that if they engage into like a negotiation with you, you're going to win, and their boss would get really upset. So that's why they're being evasive. So don't even waste your time. Just find another property, find another situation where people are more straightforward, where you don't even have to negotiate to begin with. So I do feel like a little bit of troubles coming through in terms of finding like a new dwelling, okay? At the same time, there might be like people within your family who might rub you the wrong way, and you know, like they don't really answer the important questions when you ask them. So just leave it alone. Just leave it alone. Just try to maintain harmony and leave it alone. And in terms of your external environment here, I have the Six of Swords, which is somebody from your past is potentially cycling back in. Somebody, I feel like for Virgoan men, it might be like an ex. For Virgoan women, it can be like a family member, but it can also be like somebody that you were once, you had a really good rapport with. Somebody's coming back in, and I do feel that in this situation, if it was like a relationship that went awry, I do sense that you're not going to get new outcomes from this situation. Okay, it's not going to lead down to a better path. I mainly say that with exes in general. So just be careful. It's if it's a family situation, I do feel that family members are worth investing in, mainly because a lot of the family relationships are very karmic. So if you avoid those karmic lessons, you will have to repeat them eventually, and especially in more difficult circumstances. So it is best to resolve family karma. But when it comes to relationships, they come and go. And honestly, if it didn't work out the first few times, it's not going to work out now. So a lot of you might be like encountering another, like a person from your past coming in for like a potential coming in for like round two for a potential conflict. Okay, so just be careful about how they've interacted with you in the past and vice versa, and then try not to get your hopes up about rekindling this situation. A lot of you, like, it could be an ex partner, like an ex-marriage partner, an ex-spouse. And for a lot of you, I feel like there's an element of family related to this. So, a spouse, an ex, could also be considered a family member. So somebody that you once lived with, I feel, is coming back in, all right? And it is going to make you quite nervous. And I do sense that it's not written in the stars for you to rekindle or go back to this situation, mainly because you're being blocked by a cosmic energy that is bigger than yourself. This is the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse position. So you are hoping for like an opportunity possibly to resolve or rekindle. And I would say that it's not going to play out in your favor, mainly because the outcome, we have the Wish card in the reverse position. Okay, so if it is a house that you have your eye on and you're looking for negotiations, I do feel that your your agent or the other person's agent, they're being evasive, mainly because they don't want to settle on that price, and they're going to give you the runaround. So just scrap that person, scrap that house situation, find something else. Okay, you do have more than enough financial, like, um, you do have enough money at your disposal, so I wouldn't worry about it too much if I were you. So just, keep in mind that I do sense there is a little bit of disappointment coming through for this week, okay? Things not panning out and things like that. But more than anything, it's going to be frustrating because people are not being upfront and honest. So they're giving you the runaround and you end up wasting a lot of your time that could be used constructively. So that's why you're going to be a little bit upset. But these are minor setbacks, I feel, compared to the time that you're going to waste. So I will just, go ahead and say that, don't waste your time this week, because more than anything, that's the thing you're going to regret the most. So if people are being evasive, just leave it alone. They don't have to the guts to tell you how they feel. They're being very passive aggressive, and it's really annoying. Okay, so don't waste your time. And in terms of what's coming in as well, we have the Page of Wands, which is, stall communications as well, or bad news coming through. So I do feel a little bit of a disappointment is at work here. At the same time, we have the Ace of Coins, which is financial windfall, which is like investment. Okay, so now it's starting to make sense actually with this Ace of Coins. Okay, so you have the Ace of Swords, and this is similar to what Scorpio got for their monthly reading, which is you have a really, really good idea and you're trying to find financial backers. Okay, and you're trying to pitch this idea. A lot of you are trying to pitch this idea. You have a very good income generating option, like income generating idea, and you're trying to manifest it in the real world. And I do feel that you're trying to find that ideal partnership, and you're going around trying to like sell your ideas, or at least, you know, promote your ideas. And I do feel that a lot of people are like giving you the runaround, and that's why it's really important for you. You're pressed for time, and you're encountering all these blockages, and you really have to, there's an element of timing here in which you have a small time window for to find an investor or to pitch this idea, and then people are giving you the runaround. So at the end of it, you're really frustrated that you wasted time, more than the fact that, you know, they were annoying to deal with. It's just time was wasted when you could have like hit every investor in the books. Okay, so as a result, I do feel that because of the whole timing situation, um, you're not going to be able to get the funding that you need in the amount of time. Um, there's also an element here of somebody else dependent on you to get this financial backing. So it's almost like writing a grant, and then you know, getting feedback that, oh, we're not approval, we can't approve your grant. And then it's like you have other people, you have partners that are reliant on you for this grant. There are people that need to be paid for their services, for example. And right now you're just like, you have to be the bearer of bad news, which is something that you don't want to do, and you don't want to disappoint others. So it's not like only disappointing to you, it's the fact that you're disappointing others as a result. Okay, I'm actually going to pull out two more cards just to see. I don't really want to end on a financial situation with the star in the reverse position, because that feels like very sad. So let me just pull out two more cards and see if the situation itself is going to get resolved, you know, anytime this month. So come on, will this situation get resolved? Okay. Okay, so rest assured, it is going to be fine. You're going to achieve success with this, and I do feel it is also associated with travel. There's going to be like an opportunity to travel where you meet that angel investor. If not an angel investor, then at least somebody who is very financially endowed, um, who will like guide you in the right direction in order to achieve success. Okay, so don't worry, this situation itself, this is just, you know, the energy for the week. I do feel in the greater scheme of things for the rest of the month, it is going to pan out in a way that is very favorable to you. Okay, and at the end of it, I do feel this is your card here, Virgo. So you're going to be sitting pretty, and you're going to be well taken care of. And in this situation, the financial windfall will come for you. Okay, so don't distress. Please don't distress over this situation. I feel in general, a lot of Virgos, you have like, whenever you undertake something, you have really thought it through. Okay, so you like touch upon every possible scenario, like worst case, best case scenario, and everything in between. So when you do something, it turns golden. Okay, so don't worry about it, and don't stress yourself over it. And the other people around you will understand. So don't be afraid that they're going to be disappointed in you. They partner up with you knowing your capabilities, so they are going to have faith in you. Okay, so just tell them not yet rather than no. Just tell them not yet, not yet, and then the right time will come in which you can say, yes, we did it. So don't distress over it. I hope you have a wonderful week. Let me know how this plays out for you too for this week, and I will see you next week. And you know, have a great weekend as well. Thanks.